All right, it's time to talk about some of the Japanese horror remakes, also known as J horrors to some people, from the early 2000s. So today we're going to talk about The Grudge, released by Columbia Pictures, October 22nd, 2004, starring the ever so gorgeous Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, she's been like a celebrity crush of mine since I was young, but yeah, whatever. Uh, Produced by Sam Raimi, Rob Tappert, and Taka Ichis. Written by Steven Susko and directed by Takashi Shimizu. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I probably butchered it though. It's had a budget of around $10 million, and also the director is also known for directing Ju-on, The Grudge, the original Japanese one. Uh, Howling Village, Ju-on, The Curse. Uh, he'd also go on to help make The Grudge 2 sequel after this, and also did a whole pile of other Juon films like Juon the Grudge 2, the Japanese version, and about 9 other films with that name. Anyways, oh yeah, he also did Suicide Force Village 2, which is a decent spiritual Japanese horror film and stuff too. So yeah, The Grudge is Sarah Michelle Gellar plays a chick who moves to Japan with her boyfriend, do like a little more cultural learning, I guess, and got the job at a caring. She's working for some like caregiving place at the school at the university, and she one of the other university students doesn't show up for work, which we see so in Japanese folklore. There's a spirit where if someone dies in a rage or due to a rage, like someone's murdered or something like that, this spirit will inhabit the house and take the souls of people who are coming and take the lives of people who enter into the house and disturb it. So, yeah. So we're told this at the beginning, and then there's it's done. The opening seems very powerful, I thought, because you see this young American guy in this apartment and he just kills himself, which at the time you especially didn't really see that. And then it goes to the house where the house giver is caregiver is helping out, and then you see the grudge uh, girl spirit, and there's also a boy spirit there. So it's a mystery throughout the film why they're there and um, how it all came about. And so Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, she's the one who comes in and takes over for the chick who is missing, who ends up actually being killed by the spirit. And yeah, she's caring for this woman who's has dementia and doesn't really talk or leave the house or anything like that. And she eventually sees the spirit and wants to figure out why it's there and whatnot and get to the bottom of it. So she goes and sure enough discovers what's going on and stuff. It's your typical horror film, just done with a little bit of Japanese twist in there of how they do things, and it's from the director of the original Grudge. So it was pretty neat, interesting to see that because I like the original Japanese Grudge, Joel. And this one here was pretty decent actually. It was pretty well constructed for the most part. The acting's pretty good, and the story wise, it was pretty straightforward. They do like a lot of flashback ways of showing it, and it's a little disjointed here and there. So the pacing's a little weird, but overall, it's still an interesting and fun time, and it's spooky. It scared the crap out of me when I was 12 and went and saw this in theaters, and so I went and saw it again, scared the crap out of me again in theaters. And now watching it though, I've noticed some things that I didn't notice when I was younger. Besides having the heart Sarah Michelle Gellar, yeah, there's a couple plot holes in this film, and so when they set it up, it's whoever enters the house who causes problems. Basically, is the one who gets it, and it mainly stays within the confines of the house. So, but one of the sister of the brother the daughter of the girl who's has dementia, is doesn't really aggravate it or anything like that. And suddenly she becomes a target of it. So like they go to her apartment block, which is all the way across Tokyo, and yeah, and somehow communicates through the phone lines and stuff like that. I never really got like why it did that and stuff. It kind of like backtracked on the what they said for the way the ghost like moves around and stuff like that and its limits. So they kind of overlooked that, I guess, and put it in there, so it kind of took it out of for that character. Some of the characters I didn't really care for, but it did have some good more graphic scenes for a PG-13, 14A here in Canada horror film, like when you see. I think her name's Namora or something like that, or that might be The Ring. But yeah, when you see the female spirit. And she's all like deformed and stuff. Like Sam Raimi's brother plays the Sarah Michelle Gellar's character's boss, and when he sees her in the office room and stuff like that for like the form jaw and stuff like that, I really enjoyed that. I love like stuff like that. You only get to see a quick glimpse of it, but it's pretty good. There's a lot of good spooky elements and stuff like that. This is one of the better ones. And overall, uh, near the end and stuff, it kind of gets a little bit predictable and stuff. But the way they depict it, it was interesting the first time I saw it, where she basically Sarah Michelle Gellar basically can see. You can tell she's like thinking of like what she just like learned reading through articles and stuff, and she sees it in real time as she's walking through, so, of all the hazards and problems going on. And then there's a couple weird points where she'll like get close to another character from the previous time, and they actually sense each other and stuff. But I never really got the point of that. But yeah, but overall, it's a fun time. It's spooky. It still has its like good horror charm and stuff. I'm pretty desensitized to horror and scary movies and stuff, so now it wasn't. You still tell it was like spooky and stuff, but it definitely wasn't scary at all. But overall, it was still fun. There is some like weird plot points and stuff like that that probably didn't need to be in there, but there's some nitpicky things I could point out. But other than that, it's still a decent remake from a really good Japanese horror film. But I definitely don't think it needs to be held at a high tier like most people do. To me, it seemed almost a little bit average nowadays. So it's definitely not a standout anymore. It kind of dropped down the ladder, I guess you could say, for me, for a haunted spiritual ghost story and stuff like that. But overall, it's still fun. It's still spooky and everything like that. And yeah, I'd still watch it again. So with that, I'm going to give this one, The Grudge, a 3.5 out of 5 because it's still decent. It has a decent story. They kind of tell it in a way I'm not a huge fan of, which is the more conventional way of telling ghost stories and any thriller type stories, which is using flashbacks and like, can't you just tell it in a linear story? Like, why does it always have to be flashbacks? And that, I hate that. It's the biggest cop out in films, and it drives me nuts. But overall, it's still a fun time. So also there's a trailer link down below if you've never seen it, you want to see what I'm talking about, or if you want to just relive it and stuff like that. There's a trailer link down below, so you can check that out. So also make sure you check out my Instagram, where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story, and I usually put the film title and hashtag, and I also put the subgenre of film in the video clip as well, so you're aware of it. In case it's something you're not interested in, you're aware of it. So make sure you follow me on Instagram to stay in the loop. Like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of this film down below. Let me know what you thought of it. Do you think this is actually like a really great spiritual horror film, or is it did you absolutely hate it? I'd love to hear what you thought of it. And also comment your favorite. What's your opinions on the sequels? So I'm thinking about checking them out, because I always seen 2 like a while ago, so I might go and dig into the sequels as well. So let me know what you think of the Grudge franchise and stuff, and in the comments as well. Also, if you have any films that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can if I can find them. And make sure you subscribe. So hopefully you find some hidden gems that most people probably never knew existed and stuff together. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review. Grudge was a good time. I'm probably going to check out 2 at least, because I remember I used to love that one too. So yeah, but we'll see how it goes. But for now, I'm off, so I guess I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.